Well, hey there, YouTube. I'm doing a voiceover today, and I thought I'd just take the time to mention a couple channel-related things. First of all, going forward, I'm going to try to maintain a regular upload schedule for Blueprints videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon Eastern Standard. And then also, I'd like to try and consistently stream Mondays and Wednesdays at noon, but I'm definitely not able to fully commit to that schedule at the moment, so no promises. We'll start with Wednesdays and see if we can do Mondays and Wednesdays. Anyway, on to today's video. We drafted the entrance hall outside again. Spoiler alert, we don't get to do anything with it, but I grabbed it just in case. And then we get to drafting, and our allowance is up to 37 now. So we take a nice early commissary, and we can afford to just buy it out. These shops are getting a lot better for us as our allowance goes up. I mean, being able to just buy a metal detector, a sleeping mask, a shovel, and a salt shaker in our third room is crazy. We also go across the house and draft a kitchen, and in the kitchen we buy out bacon and eggs, a club sandwich, and some of the bananas. And with the salt shaker, we leave the kitchen on 89 steps, which is just, I mean, we've barely even started drafting and we're, at 90 steps, pretty crazy. We pull a observatory with 40 stars and get a pretty bonkers assortment of stars. We have the Southern Cross, the Farmer's Apple, Clavis the Key, a Slice, the Twins, Diamondus Minor and Major. It's just an all-around buff to everything. Then we grab a nice early foyer, seeing as we'll have lots of hallways left to draft. And very shortly after, we find ourselves a Great Hall. Great Hall foyer is just a phenomenal combo. You get all of the items that come with the Great Hall. You get access to the antechamber, and you get 3, I guess, key-free doors. In our library, we had the Drafting Strategy Volume 5 waiting for us. And like the other drafting strategy books, we don't get a ton out of this. I mean, it's excellent advice for if this is your first roguelike or just these kind of mechanics are difficult for you. It's a very helpful book. But the main information we actually get out of this comes in the form of a list of all the shrine blessings, which is really nice to see, but it does not tell you how much gold gets you which shrine blessing. And that's the main thing I really like. Spoiler alert, in the future, I do end up just looking it up because it would take years. I mean, not years. It would take a lot of trial and error, a lot of very boring trial and error to figure out how much money got you which blessing. And there are puzzles that rely on blessings. And I do wish that information were available here. But regardless, getting the list of all of them is nice to see. And then on the second to last page is this like advertisement in the book for the drafting sweepstakes, which is really cool. One of this game's strengths and weaknesses is that it does almost everything in universe. There's no menu you just open that like tells you about the mechanics, or there's no tutorial. Even like if you want a glossary of terms in the game, it's in the network on the terminals. It's very cool that you can find all this information in the game in in-universe lore accurate ways, but it's also a bit cumbersome that I can't just go pull up that information somewhere. But this is a very cool way of announcing the drafting sweepstakes and how you actually earn the trophy from this one. We don't have a magnifying glass, so we're going to have to come back to read the fine print on this one. A few rooms later, we draft ourselves a morning room, and in the morning room we find the garage keys. Garage keys? Car keys. We find the car keys, and immediately draft the garage off of the morning room. And in the back of the car, we find a magnifying glass. So our prayers were answered on that one. We find a magnifying glass immediately after needing one for that book. And this also sets our sights on wanting to find a master bedroom at some point today, because we do still need to bring the magnifying glass back to the master bedroom. So we head back on over to the library to read the fine print, and it's cool. It's very interesting. We learned that the 200 gold you get for completing it comes in the form of a check and not just gold on that day, which I was afraid it might be because I don't know if you draft 20 dead ends, are you really gonna have anything to spend that 200 gold on? But it comes in the form of a check is one thing we learned, and other than that, it was just some cool in-universe lore. I'll put the text on screen here so you can read it, but I'm not gonna subject you to me reading it out loud. A little more drafting, and we find ourselves a casino, and just throw 20 coins at the roulette, and we're awarded 2 allowance, which is really cool. I think as long as we've got 20 gold to spare, we should take the casino every time we see it, because just chance at permanent allowance is really nice to find. Then as we're passing through the foundation, we find our treasure from our treasure map, and we dig up 8 gems, which, damn. I mean, that's so many, it's excellent. We do use all of them today, so I'm very glad we found that. Then we grab a coat check, grab our key 8, and I'm not going to show much of it in this video, but we promptly forget to use it a bunch of times. I mean, I draft so many doors without even trying to use it before I remember I have it. It's ridiculous. And then we find our way into a drafting studio, and we grab the final added floor plan, the vestibule, which I can't wait to try out. And since we've got the magnifying glass, we spend like 25 minutes working on this safe code. I definitely overcomplicate this one a little bit. I spend a lot of time trying to count the apples, thinking that the number of apples in the first tier of the orchard and then the number of apples in the second tier is going to somehow be the month and then the date, and then I start counting the apples on the ground and everything. And eventually, as I've done multiple times now, I say out loud, if we count small gates, 8 gates crack 8 safes, and I think, all right, well, there's some small gates in here, let's count them. And of course, there's 8. And the calendar is turned to November, so I try November 8th, and bing, bang, boom, the safe's open. When I solved this, was pretty disappointed. You can probably see on my face that I'm like, what the heck? That's so lame. I have mixed feelings about this solution. I do love the reuse of small gates. I think the way small gates has been used for multiple of the safe codes is very clever. The gate out in the orchard, the gate down below the gear wheel is a small gate, gates versus gates, the 2 different homophones being useful for the drawing room, and then the small gates here. I do really like the reuse of gates. I think that's very clever, but I don't know, I keep looking for more complicated puzzles than they are, because a lot of the puzzles in this game are very, very complicated. And then you have some like this that are not that complicated. It's just count the small gates and it's November, you know? Anyway, inside we have a red letter. And this red letter is from Mary to Herbert the night before she left. She talks about her, Caleb, and Philip's plans for leaving the following day, or I guess in a few hours. They talk about the direction they're headed and how she's excited, nervous, and heartbroken. As always, the writing of this letter is just beautiful. I may never know if I've made the right decisions, but I've made the ones I felt my father might have nodded in approval at. She mentions leaving a message for us down in the safe house. I'm gonna have to revisit that because I don't remember what that message for us is. I think it was the thing up on the blackboard, but I can't remember. And then on the second page, I'll just read this part out loud because I don't quite understand it. Explain to him, if you can, the intersection between foolishness and doctrine, the thin wire we stood upon above the world, holding hands and throwing stones. Holding hands and throwing stones. In those days we were guilty of everything. I mean, this writing is clearly fantastic, but I can't tell why. I don't know what holding hands and throwing stones is in reference to. And I don't know what she means by we were guilty of everything. I have some theories, but none strong enough to go on. And I'm very, very excited to find out what this means. We're getting to the point where we're getting a lot of red letters, and we're starting to put together more of the story. But if I'm being honest, I'm just as confused as I was before I had them. I'm getting breadcrumbs, but I don't have a piece of bread yet. I don't think that's a saying, but that's what came to me. With our magnifying glass acquired, we decide to choose purple for Banner of the King and really focus on finding the master bedroom. And almost immediately, we find a dormitory, which we take, as I like to say, for science, because it's a new room. And we don't get a whole ton out of the room itself. There's a book that was very exciting, but the room itself, the only thing we really gathered were these banners on the wall that said Costa Rica University, which confirm that it is orange and the heart. And in hindsight, I am noticing that I believe this is a hint that Costa Rica University implies the Costa Rica's sigil should be, oh, what's the word? Educational? Academic is the word I'm looking for. Like I said, I don't get that. I don't figure that out today, but in hindsight, I am getting that. As with the previous drafting strategies, I don't feel I learned a whole ton that I hadn't figured out through trial and error, but there are some neat details in this book. We learned this very important piece of information that I cannot believe I never figured out on my own, and it was infuriating watching back my videos and not knowing this information, that drafting from a steam-powered door increases the likelihood of drawing rooms with ducts, which includes rooms that require power. So drafting the boiler room, turning on the power, and then drafting off of it significantly improves your ability to get rooms that require power. And I have done it backwards so many times. For anyone who has played this game and is watching my videos and is just screaming at the screen, I promise from now on I do that correctly. We also get confirmation on the fact that the furnace will melt the freezer, and we interestingly learned that you can freeze your assets and then unfreeze them with the freezer, which is very cool, or with the furnace, which is very cool. And that's about it. There's a couple more, semi-useful little tidbits in there, but nothing important enough to mention. And then we finally remember that we have a key 8, and we try it, and bada boom, bada bing, room 8. Ooh, we got to use it, and we're on rank 8. Whoa, it's the drawing. It's the drawing from the gallery. I've really laughed watching this footage. I keep talking about how crazy it is that I got room 8 on rank 8, and I think I got so lucky that I'm going to end up getting the trophy the first time I've found the room. But I am like 99% sure in hindsight that you can only find room 8 on rank 8. You just need a locked door and key 8, and boom, room 8. But this room is super cool. I love that the room looks like the gallery picture. I think it's so cool when you open that door and you see the sideways 8/infinity sign with the nails in it. That was a really, really cool detail. I work on it for a little bit, but decide I should just finish drafting real quick before I come back and forget everything I was in the middle of doing. So I'll focus on the actual solution to this in a second. Now we know the master bedroom can only be found on the east flank, east wing, and we also know that rare rooms are more likely to appear on the further ranks. So slot E9 is like the perfect spot for a master bedroom. So I draft slot D9, and I take a nursery to thin the pool of even more bedrooms to try and really force ourselves to find a master bedroom in E9. And I completely forgot that master bedroom costs 2 gems. And I don't have enough gems to draft it. So I run around the entire house looking for gems, and I don't find any, of course, because I've combed pretty thoroughly. And I call myself a big dum-dum, and I just go right back into room 8. So now that we're in room 8 properly, I'm going to show you all the parts of this puzzle and allow you to try and figure it out yourself if you'd like. And I'm not going to show you the entire process of me solving it because it took like a half an hour or whatever, but I will show the final solution and how I got to it. So we have these 8 little statues of animals. We have the penguin that says, "The sum of my sin, as it is penned, is a number within the room we are in." A lion that says, "To first begin, place me within a bin with an N within its sin." Man, I feel like Dr. Seuss. We have a swan that says, I recommend you think again if I'm ever in a bin far from the fin. The dog that says, you won't find my bin in between sin, for I deserve to be in a bin down on the end. That one doesn't rhyme. The elephant that says, to my chagrin, my neighbor's sin is written thin to fit it all in. The rabbit that says, I share a trend with my neighbor's sin, a letter and its twin appear on each bin. The bear that says, if we spend a min or 10 lounging in the den, you'll know which bin I'm often in. And finally, the monkey that says, the bin I tend to wind up in is near the bend in the tail of the skin. And then we have the 8 bins with the 8 sins written on them: hubris, envy, lust, wrath, gluttony, sloth, avarice, and mundanity. So your goal is to place the statues in their correct bins according to the hints written on them. I'm going to go ahead and explain the solution here, and you can jump to this timestamp if you just want to see the answer, and this timestamp if you don't want to see the answer and just want to see the rest of the run. So in order from the simplest or most obvious to me animals to place to the more complicated ones, I started with the monkey and put it in hubris down on the end because it is closest to the tail of the skin rug on the floor. Then I placed the bear in sloth because sloth is like, the laziness sin, and it says to spend a min or 10 lounging in the den. Then I placed the dog in mundanity because it has to be in a bin on the end, and it can't go in hubris because that's where the monkey is. There's also a cool thing that I'm noticing just now but didn't notice while I was doing it, is that all of the text on the statues end with the letters IN, in, sin, fin, in, bin, in, skin, except for dog, which ends with the word end. You won't find my bin in between sin, for I deserve to be in a bin down on the end. Which is a cool little detail. So I throw the dog in mundanity. Then the penguin I put in gluttony, because the sum of my sin as it is penned is a number in the room we are in. So obviously the number is going to be 8. And the sum of my sin I took to mean the number of letters in it, in the sin, which ends up being gluttony. And another funny detail I'm noticing now is that there are 8 letters, and 8 is also a homophone of ate, A-T-E, which gluttony is eating. I think this room is just full of little fun details like that. When you first read the lion, there are 3 options for where it can go: envy, gluttony, and mundanity. But now gluttony and mundanity are both taken, so I put the lion in envy. Then we have the swan, which says it wants to be near the shark fin. So I originally assumed that just meant it goes in one of the 3 bins along the wall with the fin painting, and didn't know which 3 it would go in. But now hubris is taken by the monkey and envy is taken by the lion, so the only thing available is lust. Then we get to the rabbit. I share a trend with my neighbor's sin, meaning that whatever is true of the bin we put it in has to be true of one of its neighbors. And that thing that has to be true is that a letter and its twin appear on each bin. So this one took me a while to figure out for some reason, because it took me too long to notice avarice and mundanity have 2 A's and 2 N's respectively. I think I was just really focused on the gluttony having 2 T's next to each other. But avarice and mundanity are next to each other. Mundanity is already taken, so the rabbit has to go in avarice. And then finally, we end with the elephant. This is one of those ones that for some reason in the moment really eluded me, but in hindsight is like not that complicated. My neighbor's sin is written thin to fit it all in. I was like looking for like thin text written somewhere or italics or something, but I believe what this is referring to is that gluttony and mundanity are the 2 longest sins, and they are written thin, in quotes, to fit in, and mundanity is already taken, so we put it in gluttony. That's my interpretation of it. This one really threw me for a loop. If there's another solution to this, let me know. But that's how I ended up getting it. Also, that was the only slot left by the time I got to elephant, so that really helped. So in the end, the order goes: hubris is the monkey, envy is the lion, lust is the swan, wrath is the elephant, gluttony is the penguin, sloth is the bear, avarice is the rabbit, and mundanity is the dog. And when I placed the elephant, there was the sound of a door opening, but I couldn't see the door opening, and I looked around the room wildly. But I think that means this goes here. What was that sound? Anyway, it was over in this corner. And we got our roommate trophy, which, again, I commented on how crazy it was that I got it on rank 8 the first day. And very cool, at the bottom of the trophy, it says, "In recognition of rumination." I love that detail, and now I'm going to have to pay more attention to what the bottom of the other trophies say. And it also comes with 2 allowance tokens, a very worthy reward for such a cool puzzle. So, reward in hand, I go to draft the final room, and I decide to just roll to see if I would have gotten the master bedroom if I had the gems for it. And I find a freezer, which I decide 46 coins and an extra gem are worth taking the freezer for. And that's day 38. So we head over to the planetarium to call it a day and view what we did. We end up getting the Garden Shopping Center of Tomorrow. Some of these names are so goofy. Hopefully they add more of these in the future, because they're very, very fun. It's a fun little detail and a nice reward for your drafting. And I hope you enjoyed. Let me know how you feel about these voiceover style videos. I definitely prefer the live commentary, but sometimes I feel like these are a little more concise, and there was a lot that happened today. So just trying new stuff, seeing what sticks. Anyway. And we did record a second day during this play session, so I'm going to go ahead and edit that one down into a normal commentary and throw it on the end of this. So enjoy. I have returned, and I have a sandwich. Nice little buffalo chicken, some provolone, some spinach. Yum. I'm gonna leave my camera off while I eat, but we'll get started here. Give me a conservatory here so I can reset the drafting studio. I didn't get it, but we can take a nice early trophy room. I'm a-okay with that. We had just enough. That, I think, was a visual bug. I saw the flames coming up over here. Because of our freezer, we had just enough gems. Get that. Give me a battery. Ooh, it gave me a battery. Okay. That was easy. I'll just go here to see what it does now that... Okay, so I get nothing out of that. I can't open this without a magnifying glass, but I don't think that matters, because we've already opened it. Okay, so I think it's as bad as I thought. It's basically useless. Wow. Damn. Offered the master bedroom way too early. That's crazy. We couldn't find it last run, and now we found it immediately. Alright, well, we'll take it and hope to find a magnifying glass. Oh, right. And, this guy. How do we start dare mode? Oh, hello. Take that. Okay, time is moving, but the pendulum is stopped. What's up with that? Ooh. Okay. We know Morajai is white. In our sigils. Yeah. Rainbow. It's the rainbow core, but its color is white. Yeah, nice. Okay. Last time I found this, I didn't know about sigils, so I wouldn't have known to write any of that down. We'll come back with a magnifying glass, but I thought I was going to get to start dare mode from here. Maybe I just start a new game on the main menu or something? Give me a magnifying glass. Gimme, 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 magnifying glass. No. Damn. No trading post. We have plenty of gems, we don't need a hovel. We don't have a shovel. Go tool shed and hope to see a magnifying glass? No. Metal detector. And shovel. I mean, we're never too upset about shovel. Now all we need is a lever. So maybe today we can find a lever and a coat check, possibly. A lever and a coat check, and then we can coat check a jackhammer. Oh, we got the broken lever, let's go. Okay, before we dig any more of these, in case the jackhammer has some kind of special effect. And why did we get gems in here today? I guess there's just a chance for that to happen? That's nice. Alright. We got it. Now we just need to find a coat check to hold on to it for a while. Jackhammer. Oh! Cool. I totally forgot that was even a goal. That rules. That's great news. Wow, this thing looks janky. Digs deeper and finds better items. I wrote it down, but I think it's more than that. I'm still convinced it's useful on those like piles of rubble, but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Well, let's see what it does with digging. The shovel detector just has a much higher chance of keys and coins while digging. This sounds like I have a higher chance of finding items from digging. Ooh. Ivory dye. 3 keys. Whoa. Okay, so is this like way better? 3 keys and ivory dye. Nothing. A pair of gems? What? Wow. It's really good. I hate seeing that. A key-carded door. Holy crap, this jackhammer is good. Hold off on the chef salad in case we draw more green rooms. I should probably go green rooms today with this jackhammer. But if I do that, I'm less likely to find... What rarity is the coat check? Standard. I'm going to trust that we'll find it and be really sad if we don't. That's where I'm at. So, double ivory dye. Wow. Jackhammer is good. What are you beeping about? This random little coin. Man, the jackhammer is crazy. It also has a faster dig animation than the shovel, which is my favorite part about it. That's why. Other gem. Okay, I'd really love to see a freezer today, actually. This is getting kind of crazy. What the heck? Oh my goodness. The RNG is off the charts on this run. There's our coat check. It's not a good spot for it at all, but we have 5 ivory dye to get out of this situation. I'm gonna take it. And we will grab our prism key. Don't know what we're gonna use that for yet. Cloister of Rinna's kinda dope. Kinda dope. Though a study, if I could have afforded to take it, would have been great too. Where the heck is this spot? Okay. Nothing. Gem? God, we are drowning in gems. A freezer would be so cool today. 3 ivory dye? I dug up 3 ivory dye? What the hell? Okay, first, this way. Excellent solarium. That's excellent. Just what I wanted to see. Whoa! Oh, we've actually never triggered that before. That was cool. That was it showing us that... Oh my god, we have 10 ivory dye. That was it showing us that we triggered our Cloister of Rinna. Yeah, this is about how to get into the cloister. God, what are we gonna do with these ivory dye? Is there somewhere we want to bring a jackhammer? Look at our goals. 10 ivory dye is like, we can find whatever we need to find. The only thing really is we can try and use all these dye to change our chess power. That's an alright use. Oh wow, this is actually an excellent prism key. We're guaranteed to get a green room here. Another Cloister of Rinna? What? Why? And why is the special cost on the aquarium bypassed? I've seen that happen before. I'm gonna Google that. The game always gives you at least 1 room without a gem cost, so you can always draft something. Got it. Okay. It happens with the prism key and the secret passage. That makes sense. I mean, we could just go another Cloister of Rinna. Kind of crazy. Courtyard dig spots may be better, but this is dope. I wish I could actually see our luck stat to know what kind of an effect it was having, but 3 more keys. Oh my god, this run is nuts. 11 ivory dye. This is, I think the most we've ever had was 6 before. 12. Now we're up to 12. Crazy. And another key. This is nuts. Hey, there's treasure trove. Cool. Walk-in closet is better because it gives us a chance at a magnifying glass, but I'm gonna go treasure trove. Only unusual. Surprised we haven't seen it yet. Okay, what do we got in here? A little purple box I can't interact with. A lot of gold stuff. Yeah, I'll use a key on you. What do you got for me? The green memos you find in this room will always be true. Okay. I will start a list of stuff for that. So I guess this is going to be some kind of ongoing puzzle. Every time we find it, we're going to get another memo, and eventually it's going to tell us how to... It's going to tell us how to get the money, because so far we didn't actually get any money out of this. Okay. Cool, but surprisingly we can't do anything with it yet. The number of gems and stuff we're sitting on right now is wild. Absolutely wild. Okay, this is our last drafting location, so we take doors over green rooms. Though aquarium hits both those requirements. Okay, our luck is off the charts now. Wow. Oh, I forgot to turn my webcam back on. I finished my sandwich like 20 minutes ago, my bad. And another key. Jesus. We have so many things. So many things. Yeah, we got keys for days. No, and no. I want 2 doors here. Okay, but I will take a rumpus room. I will pretty much never say no to the rumpus room. Black bishop. Bishop. Rumpus room. It's interesting rewriting our whole list again to reflect the colors. I don't even know if that's going to mean anything, but it feels worth keeping note of. Wow. We got a lockpick kit and a key card. Our luck is crazy right now, but not our real life luck because we still haven't found a magnifying glass. Okay, what do you got for me, Alzara? Alzara? What do you got for me?
And as it was foretold,
I
am awakened at the sound of a dropping coin.
Oh my god, the sound design of this is so good.
Face to face with the great Alzara. And I suspect you wish me to look into your future. The image is becoming clear. I hear the pattering steps of children running in the forest. The joyful echoes of laughter in the courtyard. I see an old man sitting
Whoa.
in an even older
Whoa,
chair.
that's creepy.
A seed that has served many generations, each with their own stories, each with their own secrets, each with their own endings, but
Whoa.
all in the same chair. What you have heard here has been
What
foreseen
the heck?
by the great Alzara until the dawn of the following day. I will have nothing more to say.
Okay, these visions are extremely cool, but you only get to see them once. I mean, if you're not recording like I am, you only get to see them once, and I'm not gonna remember everything from that. All I really got from that was that it was me, much older, sitting in the same chair in the drawing room. Maybe once I've seen all of them, there will be a way to like play them back and view them again. Because like I'm just remembering about there's a missing item in the entrance hall, and the gate I didn't open. And in the very first one, I was like on the shores of on the beach in front of a castle or something. I don't know. Lockpick kit? No. Not that we need it. We have killer keys. Man, we have not yet been offered the Chamber of Mirrors in a location where we can actually make it work. That sucks. I want a left and a right door here. I will roll as many times as that takes. Vault. We don't have a key. Otherwise, I'd kind of consider it. I will roll as many times as it takes to get a left and right door. God, you're facing the wrong way. You know what's crazy? If we'd taken bunk room there, We actually have 2 hallways. We would have ended up with 16 keys. The White King. The White King. So, my guess... write it down in the wrong spot. My guess is that there is a black print we don't have yet. And that is where the Black King will be. That's my guess. An apple, some coins. No other items. Alright. So, assuming the solution to this safe is in this room, this is the hint. Okay. He is... Crap. You were one of the barons, though. If I remember correctly. March of the Count. Okay. March. So the month will be March. March of the Count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? March 9th? No, I was certain that was it. Oh, okay, herrings of the major, implying that the major doesn't count? Oh, I don't remember who the major was. You? So instead of March 9th, March 7th? Because we don't count either of those two? Why March 3rd? Why March 3rd? March of the Count. Are there 3? You. There's 3 counts. It's the number of counts there are. Cool. Red letter 8, and of course, the red letter is written sideways, as it always is. Alright, we have cracked all 8 safes, including the small gates. Let's read it. To Sinclair from Anonymous. And of course, they wrote the 8 sideways. Dear Mr. Sinclair, interesting that they called him Mr. Usually it's Baron or something. Thank you for promptly answering all our demands, not involving the police, and allowing this unfortunate transaction to transpire as smoothly as one could hope. And while I'm guessing will outweigh our culpability. Even though you will never hear from us again, we hope this parting letter will result in you thinking of us and our dealings, if not favorably, at least sympathetically. Sorry for the inconvenience. Forever Anonymous. X. Okay. I don't feel bad for them at all. From X to Herbert. Yeah, I don't feel bad for them at all. What all of the, like, I know we threatened your nephew, but we didn't really mean it. I know we sounded judgy, but we're not really judgy. Like, they're just taking it all back because they got their money now. Basically an apology to the cause. Okay. Interesting. That was not what I was expecting. Not what I was expecting at all. Interesting. I'm gonna need some time to sit with that one, for sure. I'm gonna have to think about what the heck I just learned there. Continue. Eat an apple, draft a hallway, draft an archived floor plan. Ah. Hallway from hallway is extremely unlikely. Hallway from hallway and 1 key for every 2 hallways could be really crazy. If you pull tunnel after this combo, whoa. I don't think we're finding apples. I think I'm gonna go archived floor plan, letter, and hope to find the archives, and we'll just take it. What major key? Secret garden. Crap. Now I wish I'd taken the every time you eat an apple. Whoa. 3 dig spots in here. Not willing to use all my rerolls on something like that. We have so many gems. This is crazy. I will take a freezer the second I see one. Plus we've got a smasherooski. Smash, smash. Just a bunch of coins and a bunch of gems. Things we do not need. It's gonna blow my mind if we don't find a freaking magnifying glass today. What are you beeping at? Ah, there. Couldn't see him. More ivory dye. This is crazy. The jackhammer is so good. This thing is freaking crazy. Walk-in closet. Alright, please, please, please give me a magnifying glass. What are you? A cupcake. Worth 10 steps. How have we never seen a cupcake before? Damn. How are we not finding a magnifying glass? This is crazy. That cupcake is hilarious. I've never seen that before. Very surprised to have gotten this far without ever having seen one. No reason for security. If we go study, we can reroll looking for exactly what we want. Like, literally we have unlimited freaking rerolls if we take study. And also, I think there should be a gem waiting for us. Hello. And hello. I think, and I'll regret this in 10 episodes, that we are in the end game. But like I said, I'll regret that in 10 episodes, because I'm sure it's not true. Alright, let's do the science of seeing what happens if we draft a lab after already having an experiment going. Because if we could make another experiment... No, okay. God, I want to take the attic, but if we don't get the magnifying glass, I'm going to be so sad that we didn't save for the freezer. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I have 7 more rerolls. I'll look for it. But if we see the attic again, we'll take it. God, why are we seeing the attic so many times? Oh, if I reroll now, I might end up getting neither. Screw it. Give me the magnifying glass. Come on. Come on. Coupon book. Magnifying glass. We got it. Oh boy. I would have been big sad if we didn't get it. Big sad. Okay, today, pretty cracked, honestly. I would love to get to find a freezer now, but we are done drafting, unfortunately. Pulling a freezer now would be so cool. Not you. Not you. Oh, it's in the book. To my encouraging uncle who opened many doors for me, ever grateful, Mary. P.S. They made me change the ending, of course, as you predicted. Right. In the attic, there's that note where she says, change the ending to political, question mark. It needs to be said about a prince and his book. A red book, which we just read. Sorry, Moose is driving me nuts, just running into my legs over and over again. Wow, I thought there was going to be more to this. Like, I thought that note was going to be telling us that this book had the different ending. Sorry about you, if it needs to be said. A red Princeton's book, the red book we just read. Okay, wait, so when we got to room 46 and we heard our mom reading this book, she She read the alternate ending. She read the ending. She read the ending where we take the crown and become the blueprints. But again, like with Alzara, I can't go watch that cutscene again. So I think that's all we got from this, is that it is not the ending she'd intended. I mean, it's a very fun ending for a children's book, that it ends in, like, the book he was reading is the one you are reading. It's cool, but I was hoping for more out of that. I'm at that stage in the game where, like, I'm working on, you know, pretty late game puzzles and stuff, so it's always disappointing when I check off a goal and that goal just gives me, like, a little bit of lore that I kinda already knew, you know? Oh, if we'd taken the apple, we just didn't know we were gonna find the secret garden in 20 seconds. We found the secret garden right after we chose not to take the apple-based one. Brutal. We could have gotten so much out of that. We could have maybe finished our letters. Like, literally finished the letters. Alright, we coat check our Jackhammer. Jackhammer OP. And then we end our day in the Master? That gives us more steps the next day? Yeah, back to the Master to end our day. And we'll have more steps the next time we play. Look at that, I am Dr. Seuss now. Look at me. Look at me. I am the poet. I am the poet now. Alright, we'll end our day in here. Call it a day. Call it a day. Call it a day. The Archaeological Shopping Center. I feel like they gotta add more names. We're getting a lot of repeats. Okay, so we checked off bringing the magnifying glass to the master bedroom. I gotta check that off in our notes. Magnifying glass, the master bedroom. So the only places we need to bring it now are a new clue and drafting strategy book 5. What else do we do today? We opened the office safe. That was cool. We got our 8th red letter. We're missing 1 red letter, and my assumption is it's that one in the freezer, but the only thing is the one in the freezer doesn't look red through the ice, but I guess we wouldn't be able to tell. We saw the treasure trove for the first time, and all we got out of it was a memo. So presumably we're gonna have to draft this a bunch of times and get a bunch of memos to put together what it is we're supposed to do, how we find the treasure. And by that time it will presumably be a lot of money. Oh, you dum-dum! Oh no! Oh no! I had the chess pieces, but I forgot to go change the puzzle. And I forgot to bring the jackhammer down to the basement. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot both those things. That's so dumb of me. The jackhammer to the basement, we can get done any other day. We've got it in the code check now, that's fine. Forgetting to change our chess puzzle, I wanted to change it to the night to try and axe the cost on the trophy room. Because we've made our trophy room literally common. Oh, dang it. Okay. Well, that's a priority going forward. We have to... Ah, dang it. I can't believe I forgot that. This is why I need to make a list of things to do at the end of the day, so that I can just check that before I move on. Before I hit call it a day. Oh, but, anyway, yeah, that's about it. We got to see another vision from the rumpus room. Didn't know what to do with that. Yeah, I'm gonna call it a day there. If you, I hope you enjoyed. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.